Okay, so now this being a 71 bed, you're gonna know that it's gonna be warped slightly. And I don't mean this way, I mean this way, front and back. It's like that, you know, it's this way. It's like a triangle, you know, bent. So you can see how I have my ratchet straps done. I actually welded here, here, and here after I set my distance and my gap up there. And you have to make sure it sticks out, you know, evenly on both sides. Welded them, left this side loose. Well, technically, just like everything, I've welded it once and had to cut it off and then weld it again because it wasn't right. And I am slightly OCD anal about this stuff. So I have one ratchet strap pulling the bed forward. I have another ratchet strap pulling the bed that way. And what it's doing is it's squaring it back up and making all the gaps right. So I'll show you the gap now. It's literally almost exactly what the door gap is. You see? Look at that. Actually, like this, it's absolutely perfect, which is what it is. But when you get up on it, you know, it changes a little bit. It's a little bit wider here than here, but it's perfect. It's the same on both sides. You can barely catch a finger here because for some reason, even the S10s are like this in the 80s. The beds are actually wider than the body. I don't understand it, but it does it. Yeah, I guess this is the first time for you guys seeing the truck after cutting the 13 inches out. I took the drive shaft to get welded, because again, we don't do aluminum here yet. I want to do aluminum. I'm going to work on getting either a spool gun for this Hobart, or maybe someday getting a TIG that does it. You can see our wheels look good. Everything's right. Now, here's the one thing that's going to throw your eye off. This wheel is smaller than the other three. So, when I first originally did the bed, I was running back and forth both sides like, they look different. That side's got to go forward. That side's got to go back. That side's got to go this way. That side's got to go that way. It was a tire throwing me off. But now it's straight left and right. Gap's good on both sides. Showing you how we do it. Now, we were going to attempt to leave the original floor, but it's like 2 inches up higher back here, and I think it's like 4 inches higher up front. So we're just going to do what we usually do, a wood bed floor, since this is a long bed with a heavy 1/8 inch toolbox. I'm going to do 4 supports in this one. One in front of the, or one behind the back tire, one in front of the back tire, and one up front, and this one right here. More support so the bed don't bounce. Some of the older ones, we do 3 supports. There's really no weight to them. Not to mention they're 7-foot beds. This is an 8-foot bed. And that toolbox is completely made out of, it's either 1/8 or 3/16 steel. And it's heavy. Heavy, heavy, heavy. But I'm going to weld this side now because I've got it all straight. And we'll be done with it. Well, I won't be done with it. I still have to weld in the other 3 supports. And as far as the motor goes, I have the AC and radiator in. This thing, though it looks like there's a lot of room, it's packed. That's about the best way I could figure to do that with the AC condenser, where they're 2-piece on the newer Hemis. So, radiator straight, AC sideways. The fuse box is actually packed right in there next to them. But it's all tight. Ain't going nowhere. It's good. Got the hood hinges on. I'm going to mount the computer today right here. We are putting the toolbox in the... we are putting the battery in the toolbox. That's, well, it's after I weld up the hole from where I had to cut it to make room for the hanger for the leaf spring. But there's plenty of room in here. Even once it's in here, there'll be room in here for other things too. But gotta run power cables, grounds, or just jumping frame to frame. So, and we still have to find either them 20s over here, which are like gold for some reason. Can't find these 20 spares anywhere. Or we're gonna have to run the 17-inch spares, or we're gonna have to find some cheap, good, nice looking 20s. And yes, as you can see right now, it looks 4x4. But we're gonna have to drop this thing like 6, 6, maybe 4, 4, maybe 3, 5. I don't know. We don't know what we're gonna drop it yet, but it has to be dropped. This thing's way too high. So I'm gonna get back at it. Okay, so I'm pretty much aggravated right now and calling it for the day before I kill something. So this has the factory toolbox, which is heavy. Done said that. And after I welded the mounts up there, I don't know if you can see them right there, I was like, she ain't gonna drop much, you know, but you know, that's a long span. It's over a foot. Let it down, man, it dropped over an inch. I actually had to weld the toolbox to the frame in order to get it not to fall. This side, I was like, there's no toolbox on there. It ain't gonna fall. Let it down, over ½ inch, man. So I'm gonna have to make another support down off the frame to up like this from here to support that side. Which means back here, I might have to make some supports going this way off here to hold its weight too. These where the wheel arches will be fine. They won't move at all. But I still have to make spacers for under them. You can see the light right through it. But my brain's frazzled right now, aggravated, done for today. Well, I just finished the bed. You can see the kind of extra supports I had to put on there. Even the one up front there. But it don't drop or sag on the corners now. It's super stiff. Sort of like a Pikes Peak truck now. But that's done. All welded. Here, there, 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 you know, all over the place, but it's done. Make sure everything still closes good. Tailgate works perfect still. After removing the ratchet straps, it didn't barely move, so body lines are still golden. Dropping it off the jack stands. It may look like that one's a little low, but I think the door is actually high. Yeah, the door's a little high and out. It's closed all the way. But it's never going to be perfect. It looks good though, either way. And there's like the first shot of all being one. Now I can push it back and start wiring up batteries and grounds and bolting in the computer, getting it all ready. Then after that, all I have to do is fix this rust hole right there. And there's a piece up here I gotta fix. I will seam seal that, grind it down. Then I can start putting in the seats and carpet. And after I get the power wires and everything back in, I can test fire it. Well, I still also have to put the hoses on the radiator and AC condenser and everything like that, but that's easy peasy stuff. You can see how tight that stuff had to go in there. And yes, you can still get the cap off. It was a big thing, but like there's nowhere else for anything to go. I still have to try to tuck this somewhere. It's kind of rolling free. I might just twist it around a little bit and bolt it to the same place as the fuse block. Keep forgetting about this. I still have to do the cowl here and put the hood on. Then I think we'll be done with it for a while, because we got customers lining up needing other trucks built. So this one might get sat outside for a while. Then we'll bring it back in, probably put some different rims and tires on it, lower it. I don't even know if we're going to finish the dash before we actually put it out, because we've got like 3 guys now needing stuff built. So we actually took this in and we had none. Turn around, now we got 3. So that's a good thing. I'm going to move this thing back and get started bolting up the brain ECM over on the other side. And possibly by the end of the week, well, definitely by the end of the week, it'll be running. Since I don't have the radiator all the way hooked up with the AC, I'm only going to give you a sneak preview.